All right, we're going to start with part 2 of one-point linear perspective of a room. We've got our vanishing point, we've got our horizon line, and all of our orthogonals or our diagonals go to that vanishing point. Some of you have noticed that you've had things off, and as soon as I say, does that orthogonal go to the vanishing point, you guys are like, oh yeah, you see it. You can now start to see your mistakes because that illusion is being broken. All right? Now, we ended up with the hall. I believe we ended with the hall. Remember, our lines are either going to be orthogonal or they're going to be parallel to the edge of the paper, which is the horizontal, this way, or your horizon line. They're either going to be parallel this way or they're going to be parallel to the vertical. All right? If you do not have those lines parallel in those two directions, it will not give that illusion. Okay? So, we ended up with the hall. Started to put floorboards in. We've got the ceiling where the wall meets the ceiling. We've got where the wall meets the floor. We've got our threshold. We're now going to start by putting some extra details in the windows. So I didn't quite finish off this window, so I'm going to come in using my parallel glider. I'm building that window. I'm going to add some trim work on my windows. So I'm adding, and I felt the parallel glider slide. I'm adding that window casings. Now I'm going in above and below that orthogonal because I'm going to create another orthogonal. Because most people's homes, when you look at your windows, it's got trim work around it, doesn't it? Some people leave it naturally colored of the wood color. Some people paint it white. So now I'm going to do the top. So So now I've got a casing on my windows. Got to do that to the bottom as well. Just tightening up things here. Now, I would also see here the bottom of that center part of the window. Just making sure I'm on my vanishing point. Adding those little bits of detail in the windows. Ooh. Made a mistake. I've got to come in. Again, lining up my parallel glider. Making it, as you can see, the distance is the same from here to here as here to here, so I know that those lines are parallel. All right. Now, houses also have baseboards. Do you guys know what baseboards are? You've all seen them. You might not know what they are. They're the boards that run along the base of the floor where the floor and the wall meet. It's like trim work, and there's crown molding across the top. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to add my molding up here, or the trim work. And I would see the bottom because it's three-dimensional. So I'm going to draw another line next to it. And then that's the trim work. Let me darken this up. And I'm going to do the same on all three walls because usually in most homes they're the same. And I'm matching as soon as I hit that line. See how it gives a little bit more three-dimensionality to the room as you're building that trim work? It's you're slowly constructing the room using your orthogonals. Here I'm adding the trim on this side. I'm going to do it to the floor as well. Let me erase some of these. Because as I clean this up a little bit, it really starts to take shape. Now I'm going to do the baseboard. And from the baseboard here, I already kind of have it. Orthogonal. And then it would come here, parallel to the floor. And then this is our floor. I'll have to get the bottom here darker. And as you can see, I had it come all the way over here. Now, I'm going to erase this line here because this actually is attached to the wall, so it comes out slightly. So it would look like that. Now the floorboards. Do all the floorboards usually line up? When you look at your hardwood floors, you know how the board is like 3 foot, 4 foot long? Do they have all those lines line up, or do they stagger the boards? They stagger them. So that's what we're going to do with our floorboards too. And it's easier with the parallel glider to do that, because what I'll do is I'll come up here, line up my parallel glider, and I'll come down. And I will say, I'm going to go every other board. 1, 2, 3, just go over every other board. Then I will roll my parallel glider and then do the boards that I didn't do. Then do the opposing set. That's how you give that staggered look. Then when I roll it again, I do the first board, the first one I did again. And as I'm doing that, do you see how the floor is starting to take form? You see how we're building now hardwood floors? Give me a thumbs up if you can see your floor coming together. Now I lifted up my parallel glider, so what I'm going to do, can you go to the bathroom? You're asking me? Okay, yes. And of course now everybody who watches this video knows at this point, Mason goes to the bathroom. All right, so right now I'm half on and half off the paper, so it's slipping. So it's taking me a minute to, I want to make sure that I get this See, it's slipping again. So what I'm going to do, and you might need to take an extra sheet of paper, and you can, now I've got the same friction with the parallel glider. Now it's rolling fine. So now doing every other one. So then there I'm starting to build my floor. And I need to add some more tile or more underneath. Let's see, there's that one. There we go. So the room is starting to come together. Now I'm going to add a lip to this desk. You know what, I'm not going to have it. Yep, and I'm going to change this and move it down. The reason being is I want to put a drawer there. So I added a lip because a lot of desks have a lip. So I draw a line just past. So I'm now adding a lip edge to the desk. And again, just extending this slightly to where now I've got a little lip on the desk. It's those details that you're able now to do with that linear perspective. Ooh. I want to get a drawer, center drawer, lining up my orthogonal, my vanishing point. I then want to have a parallel line. Let me make sure it's parallel. Because as soon as these lines are not parallel, it destroys the illusion. Now I'm going to draw lightly here because I want to add some side drawers. Where's the edge? Now I'm adding drawers. It wasn't quite on my orthogonal, let me make sure, or on my vanishing point, and it messed it up. You got to make sure that you're on your vanishing point. And the bottom drawer will be a bigger drawer. The sharper your pencil, the more precise your lines will be. Now I'm going to erase the lines that are in between the drawers. Grab a sharper pencil. Something's bugging me here, so I'm going to check my orthogonal to make sure that's right. That was just a hair off. But even that hair will distort the illusion. All right, so now I've got drawers on my desk. Okay, now I can start to decorate. I want to hang pictures on the wall. I can hang pictures. Come across with a parallel. Do you see how the pictures are starting to take form? Can you guys see the pictures? Erase the space in between. Now I can just, a little too far. I can then go in and build the frames. That's too close. Get this back in here and go up there. Would somebody please get the door? Building the frames, the pictures on the wall. I could even do pictures on the wall going down the hallway. So I can run a parallel line on the horizontal. Remember, horizontal goes from left to right, vertical goes up and down. So I'll come here, I can have pictures sitting on that exact same line as those pictures to where they go around the corner. Now, you can also, have you guys ever seen like those half walls where they have beadboard? So what I can do is I can even add accessories to the wall. So do an orthogonal here, the top and the bottom. Do a horizontal parallel, off the, as soon as it meets there, come straight across, come straight across. And then some homes, they'll have like a half wall, and then what I'll do is I'll come with my parallel glider here and do the verticals. And I'm slightly getting further apart as I come to the corner. And I continue them this way. Oop, I got too far. These would be the same distance apart because you're seeing them on the same plane. They're not going back into space. Is anybody wondering why I left a gap there? Do you see where I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Who wants to take a guess on why there's a gap there? Why would I have a gap there, Mason? An outlet. Houses have outlets, don't they? So now I'm going to come part way into this, and they have an outlet cover, and I'm going to go on the other side of that. Now I have, and I'll put 2 circles. Do I have an outlet? You know what else I can add? That's what's in your house, right? Those are the details that you see. Sometimes you get like a double switch. Make that a little bit smaller. Now, it's starting to take shape. Do you see? Now, there's things that I can do also. I could add more furniture. I need to continue to finish the wall. And I'm going to change my picture. I don't like the size of that. I was doing that just to show you. I'm going to put my vanishing point back in here because I need it. I want to get the wall done first, just so I can bring everything to scale, or as close to scale. And again, I am parallel to the wall. And I'm going to check to see if I have slid, see if I'm still parallel, and I am. You want to continue to do that, especially if you're using a parallel glider. If you're using a ruler, you got to keep double checking. Because once things are not parallel on the vertical or the horizontal, or if your orthogonals are not going to your vanishing point, it ruins the illusion. Is it starting to look like a room? Kind of. Give me a thumbs up if you're starting to see a room on your paper. Now what I might do back here, I can add a series of pictures if I wanted. So I can add pictures back there. I could put a window back there. Now that I've got all of my orthogonals and my vanishing point and my horizon line, I'm able to do all of this. Now I'm going to, again, add get the bottom trim in. You're starting to build that one point perspective. Now I need to add frames around all of these pictures. And again, it's just making sure that things are parallel. Usually frames are the same thickness. You can always go back and clean up lines, connect lines. Making sure that things are the same distance apart. Now I could even, if I wanted to, with those ceiling tiles, I could even add lights. Huh? Let me see, where do I want to? I'm seeing that this line is not parallel. So that line was not parallel. I gotta remember which one. So it's the bottom one. So what I'm doing is I'm erasing darkening up the lines. So I'm just building like the kind of lights you would see in like an office. I actually like my ceiling tiles better. Part of it is because of the size of the scale, you really wouldn't have these type of lights in this space. Add handles to the desk. All of those little details where I left that little spot open for outlets. So this is where you're going to want to flush it out and add more details. Remember, everything. You don't have to add the lights. I was just playing around trying to show you how you can, incorporate things like that. I'm not wild about the lights. I would probably go back and put my orthogonals and put back the tile. But I'm just wanting to show you how you construct something and then add on to it with these geometric shapes. Now, I would probably draw something outside the window. It might be trees. What would you see outside that window? So try to add those details, all right? What kind of pictures are on the wall? Think about those details. So this is what you will end up with roughly for your 1-point linear perspective of the room, all right? You can add as much as you want, as much detail as you want. You know what requirements are on that sheet, on your pack. Go through the checklist. You should have most of this done by the end of this video. All right? Good luck.